Hi, so this is the pattern that we are going to be working with in this tutorial. So this is 3.5 inches for the base, and for the height we have 8 inches. So for the front of the bag, what we have is 7 inches. For the gusset we have 1.5. Then I have an extra 1 inch here, so extra 1 inch, that's aside the gusset, and I have an extra 1 inch. So this extra 1 inch is to give the bag that curve, that curve that it has, so it extends outside of the gusset and then comes back inward. So this is what I have here, and of course the 1 inch is on both sides. That's after the gusset. Then we're going to use half pattern. We're going to divide this on the bottom. We're going to divide it and join it back based on how the bag was made. So the gusset, the base is not a single panel. The base was joined back to each other at the middle. So we're going to do that, but before that I want us to draft the pattern first. So after we draft the pattern, it is easy to now cut it in two at the bottom. So here, let's start with the slant at the top. The slant at the top from the gusset. So we're going to erase this 1 inch, and then we are going to slant into the gusset as well. So let's say the gusset is 1.5. What I used for the gusset here is 1.5. Let's say we are using half of that, which is 0.75 as the slant. That's 0.75 from this 1 inch line. This is 4 inches from 4 inches from here, from this line here, 4 inches. I can now slant this. So this slant is not supposed to be a ruler kind of slant. I'm not supposed to use a ruler, but let it just be like that for now. Then here I'll take ½ inch from the interior part of the bag. I'll take ½ inch here. So from when I take ½ inch from this line in here, you measure what you have from here to here. That's from this ½ inch you just marked. So what you have is 3 inches. So you take that 3 inches to the top here. 3 inches to the top here. Okay, so you make sure that this one meets with this. As if you draw the line, it should meet with this. So at that point, you take your compass and then you put it at that point where the 3 inches meets the 3 inches, and then you draw your circle. So once you've drawn that, you're going to balance this curve to meet with this. So once you have it this way, you're now going to go back to this. So now for this one, remember that this is your gusset. You don't need this part. This part is for the curve, and it has achieved what it has achieved. But this is our gusset right here. So we are dealing with this box and this line, which is where the front starts. Now from here, now you're going to take ½ inch from the bottom. So you act as if this curve is not there, so you deal with this. So you take ½ inch from the bottom. Then from this line as well, you take ½ inch. So ½ inch downwards from the top, ½ inch upwards. That's from the base. And then from this point where the base meets with the gusset meets with the front panel, this confluence point, you mark your Then from this point as well, you mark. So once you have, so from this point now, this baseline, half inch downward, from this bottom part, half inch upward, then you create this, ensure that they are meeting with this curve, that the lines are meeting with this curve, and then you can cut it out and see what you have. So if you are pleased with it, you can continue to make your so by the time you bring it together, it will form something like this. Okay, so this appears to be longer than this. This is 1.75 and this is 1. So I'll mark this and try to blend it into the curve. So we can now bring this way. So before I use, so this is what you would have at the bottom. I think you're done manipulating. This is what you would have at the bottom. So now, before I use this to cut this side, just let us do the handle part of the bag. So for this, I'm just going to freestyle my own handle method. So I'm taking 1.5 inches from the gusset line. 1.5 inches. Then let's take 2 inches downward and we can so something like that. I would cut this into two, like we said we're going to do. Place this here. So here we have the two, and for this I'm just going to fold this in two like this and just choose one side. Cut. Check what it looks like. If it looks good to me, then I use to cut this. So once I have this, for the handle I'm going to go with this brand paper and I'm just going to draw what I have here. So I will add some border to it round. Fold it this way. So apply gum and you can fix your handle. So here we place whichever one you're placing, but I'm placing the gusset on the base. So place it this way. That's the same thing. So once you have, place this over this. So if you're not good with the kind of curve you have, you can, try to curve it more from your prototype. So you can now use your prototype. Once you've gotten the perfect thing you want, you can now use it to make your real bag.